Well, I have two monitors now, so I'm like I like have my own state. I have my notes on one monitor and the screen on the other.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping, where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. And a few weeks ago, we went to the beach. And this week, we're going to go to the spa. We're headed to New York to play the late pick four from historic Saratoga racetrack. The pick four starts with race number 8 and finishes with race 11. It includes two graded stakes tonight. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. And 2 weeks is definitely too long since I talked to Mr. Ray Torado, who, as always, joins us from Staten Island, New York. So, Ray, have you ever been to Saratoga racetrack?
Yes, I've been. I try and go once a year, and it's about 3 hours from my house. It's a nice trip. Try and make it for travelers usually, and it's a beautiful track. It's where you get the country's the country atmosphere. You can walk to the barn when after you park your car. It's really nice.
All right, and from Temecula, California, it's my good friend and another racing analyst, Joe English. Joe, is there a racetrack on Earth higher on your bucket list than Saratoga?
Oh, well, I've been to Saratoga, so it's not even really on the bucket list anymore.
Okay, I thought you had.
No. There are I'd love to go to Ascot and Longchamp in Europe. Those are probably the two highest on my bucket list right now.
Those would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yo, tell me where you parked, man of war.
Oh my God, I forgot it. Let's just put let's just put it that way. It was a long walk. The times we've gone, but it's still fun. It's enjoyable. Yeah. The racing's great.
Mhm.
All right, now we're going to turn our attention to historic Saratoga racetrack in Saratoga Springs, New York. Once again, we are looking for someone to handle our rather small weather segment for us. So if you know someone who's interested, just contact us either via the YouTube broadcast or on our Twitter handle at 3 Broke Guys Handicapping. You can also contact each of the individual 3 Broke Guys if you know somebody who's interested in doing that. Until we do get someone, the forecast tomorrow for Saratoga Springs, it's a forecast for partly cloudy with a high temperature of 85. And to me, it looks like it's a perfect day for racing. Of course, it always looks like it's a perfect day for racing.
And the question is the humidity, right, Ray?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it can be humid up there. And those thunderstorms. Watch out for the thunderstorms, which can make the track very sloppy quickly.
All right.
True.
We've got a total of 11 races, including 4 stakes races on tap for Saturday. For tonight, we are focused on the pick 4. It begins in race number 8, and it concludes in race number 11. Gentlemen, the gates are locked and loaded. Shall we go ahead and get started?
Whip hands ready. Let's go.
All right. Race number 8. It's 1 mile and 3/16 on the turf, and for the mathematically challenged, that's almost 1/4 of a mile on top of that. Allowance $85,000 1X race. The purse is $85,000 plus up to $17,000 if you happen to be a New York bred for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won $10,000 other than maiden, claiming, starter, or state bred, which have never won 2 races. I love all those conditions. Right? 12 starters, and your morning line favorite at 3-1 is Raise the Bar. It's in post number 5 for trainer Chad Brown and ridden by Javier Castellano. We're going to go west coast to east tonight. So, Joe, we both know Raise the Man, but what about Raise the Bar?
Well, actually, I don't have Raise the Bar in any of my tickets. Well, on my ticket anyway. I actually, with my top choice, I went to the other Chad Brown runner, Idiosyncratic, the number 3. Gets the leading jockey at Saratoga right now, Irad Ortiz, and the morning line 6-1. Well, so you get Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz, and you're going to get 6-1. I kind of doubt that. I'm thinking you're going to get probably closer to 4, maybe 7-2, somewhere in that area, because of the connections. In his first race versus Winners, it wasn't a bad race, wasn't a bad effort at all. He lagged behind a slow pace, and he finished well into the quickest part of the race, and that race was in April. So he's had a little time to recover. He should be able to improve his second time out in 2016. Again, he has Irad Ortiz, who probably learned a little something about the horse in the first race of the year. And the winner of that race, Money Multiplier, went on to run well behind Wake Forest at a huge number. I can't remember the name of the stake it was in one of the pick 4s that we actually hit at Belmont. It was one of the long distance races, and Money Multiplier was a huge number that day. I want to say 30 or 35 to 1. and he ran pretty well. It looked like he was actually going to beat us out of the pick four until Johnny V found a way to get through with Wake Forest. So I'm going with Idiosyncratic as my top pick. As another A selection, I also like the one, Captain Moss. Chris Englehart and Manny Franco at 10-1 on the morning line. His race two back on the buyer scale is the only race that has been close to par on the level of any of the horses that has run in this race. If he runs back to that race, he's going to be tough. He returned after that race to win at the starter allowance level. He won pretty easily that day. And being that he drew the rail, he's going to have a ground-saving trip, and he should be prominent early and probably avoid some of the traffic trouble that some of the others might encounter. And my other horse that I want to mention is a B pick is number 6, Circus Performer by Todd Pletcher, Joel Rosario at 9-2 on the morning line. He finished behind Captain Moss in that race last time out, and he was wide in that race. He was solid third in that race behind. Actually, it was a different race. Sorry, it was a solid third in that race at this level, and he drew better today. So I don't expect him to get that wide a trip. The limited trainer jockey sample produces a positive ROI with Pletcher and Rosario, and I want to bring back something that Rich said about Baffert a while ago, and I want to say it today. And you're going to hear this quite a bit from me. Do not ignore Todd Pletcher on big racing days in New York only. You cannot disregard him in any circumstance. Turf, dirt, long distance, sprints, it won't matter. He will have horses ready to go. And this one is probably one of the ones who might fly under the radar because generally Pletcher's known as a long distance dirt trainer. But again, I think this horse has a shot. He's not one of my top 2 selections, but again, I just want to make sure we realize that it is Todd Pletcher and we can't ignore him. He's always a factor at Saratoga, always a factor in New York. So if we had to include an extra horse, if we had extra room, I would put him on the ticket. But my A picks are the 3, Idiosyncratic, and the 1, Captain Moss, and Circus Performer, number 6, is a B selection for me. Ray, this is a tough turf race to start out the pick 4 with. What do you have to say?
Yeah, you're right, Joe. It's very tough. And you're right about number 6, Circus Performer with Pletcher. Saratoga is his place. He's won many training titles there, and he's actually my top pick from 6 that I have selected in this race. I'm trying to go very deep here because this is a wide open race. 9 wins of allowance. I mean, anything could happen. Trip will win the race. They're in this condition. And Circus Performer 9-2. He was involved in 2 really fast mile and 16th races at Belmont. The stretch out and the amount of pace can help him. And Rosario and Pletcher do click at 20%. So they, like you said, they ride pretty well, man. He's actually my A pick also. Number 9, Bingo Kitten, morning line 12-1. Another one of those Ramsey horses. The distance would be no problem here. Had some experience at Saratoga last year, and 2 races in 2 years doesn't look good. It's only 12-1. So it's been kind of like I want to say that this horse is kind of like fresh. Also, number 5, Raise the Bar. He's a morning line favorite. He was closing well at Belmont, just short of this distance. Been training in Saratoga since June, which is a while. Usually horses that train at Saratoga and stay there, acclimate to the weather and stuff, and they do well. Been waiting for this meet for Chad Brown with Castellano, and they're looking for a big meet, trying to knock off Pletcher. He was third at Pilgrim last year, which is a grade 3 race. Also, as B picks, number 1, Captain Moss, morning line 10-1, showed speed from the rail. I'll give him a chance here. I mean, he did weaken in 2 turf races at Saratoga, but he's been sprinting claiming races, so the pace has been a little quicker. So maybe the stretch out will do well for this horse. And the last 3 have been on the turf. He's been pace setter. So I'll give him a chance here with Manny Franco and Engelhardt. And Joe, you mentioned 3, Idiosyncrasy. Also, he had a good race off an 18-month layoff. And in the same condition, shipped to Saratoga. He's been in the regular workout pattern, so he's been there for a while also. The distance will be here. This is the other Chad Brown horse, and I ride Ortiz is riding very well. And also long shot number 7, Hunter O'Reilly, made up 17 lengths in the maiden race last year, finished third by 1. He tried the Remsen against Mohayman. That didn't go too well. And came back here on the turf. He needed his last race. He's finished 5th by 4. And the condition and the distance also fits here with Tona and Johnny V aboard. So those are my picks. So yeah, it's like a keynote number here. We got 6, we got the 9, we got the 5, we got the 1, 3, and the 7. So good luck, guys. That's half the field. Maybe we can stay alive there. Rich, what do you think about this race? It's crazy.
You got 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's exactly. This is like an odd Keno ticket. This is the one that's like odd numbers.
6, 9, 5, 1, 3,
No, you
7.
got the 6 in there too, so it's not all the odd numbers, but
There you go.
it's not only odd numbers.
For anybody who has been following our show, and we've actually been doing this now for a little bit over 4 months. We've got 18 episodes under our belt together. You're going to note that we're actually getting really familiar with each other because Joe already handicapped for me. He already told you what I was going to tell you. That Todd Fletcher, Joe Rosario, and yeah, all that stuff that Joe said about Todd being the Bob Baffert of Saratoga. You can just rewind it a little bit because Joe apparently is right in my head. My picks aren't so far from just being inverted with his. So my top pick was actually the 6. I did stay with Circus Performer as my top pick because I like Todd Fletcher, Joe Rosario, really solid combination. Those last 2 races at Belmont are the ones that have me thinking that he's solid, but then are also making me wonder if maybe he needs a little bit more pace to close into. There was quite a bit of pace for him to close in both of those, and I'm not sure he's going to get it today, but I did go with the number 6, Circuit Performer on top. And then, as I mentioned, Joe just kind of beat me to everything I was going to say about the number 3, which is Idiosyncratic, and that was my backup pick, which was Jack Brown, Irad Ortiz. They are 30% together. And the only thing I'll toss on top of it was because Joe and Ray brought up this horse. So Captain Moss, and one of the interesting things out there is for the Brisnet players, and that's what I'm showing on my screen is my Brisnet form. You don't often get a 10-1 morning line and a number 1 prime power. Prime power follows around. Prime power is a little bit of a chalk-eating weasel. Okay, it follows the morning line around, and so I sometimes do take note when I see that one, just because it's enticing. So, I did not put the favorite in there. I did not go with raise the bar. So I've got Joe down with the 3 on top, the 1, Captain Moss is his backup pick, and the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Ray has got the Keno ticket. He's actually got the 6 on top. I think he's got the 5 and 9 as his second picks, and then he's got the 1, 3, and the 7.
All
for the big heavy rollers out there. He's sort of bankroll in this first race.
All button.
Rich finished up with the 6.
All button click.
Wait, but and ironically, the hottest trainer on the grounds, and we did not include Kieran McLaughlin's horse.
No, this, no.
Anyway, next.
For those of you who are listening, you now have your winner of that race.
Yes, it is.
You might want to go ahead and focus right in there. All right, so we are going to move on. We're going to move on to race number 9, and that is one of the 2 co-features on the day. Race number 9 is going 6 furlongs. It is the Alfred G. Vanderbilt Handicap. It's a Grade 1. First is $350,000. It's a handicap for 3-year-olds and upward. 8 starters, and your morning line favorite all the way down in post number 1 is Anchor Down from the Todd Fletcher barn. He's ridden by Jose Ortiz. Morning line odds right now at 5-2. Ray, this is New York, so you get first choice on the co-feature race. Who do you like in the Vanderbilt?
All right, well, I think we'll go more to form in this race. It's a sprint, 6 furlongs, speed does well at Saratoga, and I'm going to go with number 3, Delta's Bluesman, 3-1 morning line. I'm surprised he's not he might actually turn out to be the favorite if as all goes well. And I know Anchor Down ran a big race against Frosted, but I don't see him much as a sprinter in this here. But I want to talk about Delta Bluesman. He's a trainer again, Navarro. He got a top sprinter again. He lost Private Zone, and now he's got Delta Bluesman. This horse can fly. I mean, he's won 4 in a row in lesser company. I mean, the small sprint is a good race. Grade 2. He's had back-to-back, triple-digit buyers. His speed figures are high. He's had to lead 4 straight races, except for the second call in the last race by half a length. He's got 21.43 speed, and that does well at Saratoga. I think he'll hold on here. Um, Holy Boss number 5. He's won 9-2. He actually won here last year at Saratoga in the Amsterdam. He's one of those. Looks like he's one of those horses for courses. Because if a horse like Saratoga, you stick with him year after year. Now we've had a few of those in our lifetime. 4-star Dave. He ran to run happy 3 straight times. That's not too good. He's winless this year with 2/3. Maybe Saratoga will wake him up. Sometimes the weather over there does it. Johnny V's got the mount. He's starting well at Saratoga. Aspension trains. Number 7, there's a B pick, Rick White, 12-1. Out of 6 races, 3 have been at Saratoga with a win and a third. Or second, yeah. And he was second in the same condition as Holy Boss, the same race last year. So he's another horse, another possible horse for the course. He's got George Weaver who brings in long shots over there, and Castellano picked up the mount here. So those are my picks there: 3, 5, and 7. And Joe, what you gotta say about the Amsterdam?
Well, my top pick is also the 3 Delta Bluesman, and I really don't need to go any further than what you said, so I will just leave it at that. Actually, my underneath, I did choose Anchor Down. Again, it's the Pletcher thing. He ran very well in defeat behind Frosted. Of course, nobody's going to beat Frosted that day, and I don't know that anybody, based on that performance, I'm not sure anybody in our lifetime would have beat him that day. But anyway, the rail draw is what bothers me about this horse. He doesn't seem like like you said, Ray, he doesn't seem like he's a 6 furlong type horse. He looks like he's more an elongated sprinter.
Yeah.
And the fact that he drew the rail, he's probably going to have to go, or at least he's going to have to use a little bit to get some position. But again, he's been facing horses that are better than the ones that Delta Bluesman is facing. So we'll see if the class matters more than the speed and the post position in this spot. I did want to mention others. This is a real tough race. AP Indian is kind of getting a little bit of disrespect after that win in the Belmont Sprint Championship, again at 7 furlongs last time out. Joe Bravo gets up for 5-1, 12-14 the exact lifetime, so you can't really knock what that horse has done. You mentioned Rick White, and I won't talk anymore about him. But I did want to also mention even the other one of the other Navarro horses, and that's Chubalicious. Antonio Gallardo comes up from Tampa, actually from Monmouth. He's coming over. I'm not sure if he's spending the whole day at Saratoga or not. I didn't see him having other mounts. It could be that he's on a plane or a helicopter from Monmouth to Saratoga at some point tomorrow to try and get up there for this mount. He's going to be a little bit off the pace. He's been terrific this year in so far 2 races, 3rd off the layoff. He's going to get tested for class, and it could be that depending on what happens with Anchor Down and Delta Bluesman, the pace scenario could be pretty quick. And I saw that Holy Boss is getting blinkers on today. I know we backed him in a pick 4 earlier this year, and he was a speed horse back then. So it's possible that there could be a pace meltdown up front. I would assume Delta Bluesman might be the speed of the speed, but this is a very interesting race for me from a pace standpoint, and I'm going to be watching it intently. But again, my top pick is Delta Bluesman, and my other A pick would be Anchor Down. And the other 3 I went with B picks, but again, it's a wide open race, and I could easily just stick with the top 2 morning line choices and go from there. So that would be what I'm thinking about the Vanderbilt. Rich, what have you seen? Is there anything that you can impart on us that we are not talking about?
I can clear up this puzzle for you guys right now. I think Jorge Navarro's got the winner in this race.
Well, he's got 3, so which one?
Oh. So you want to get down to that kind of level, huh?
Yeah. No, I know. It's not.
I'm just going to put all my money on the 3 Jorge Navarro ones. I think, if I'm not mistaken, at Shot 10, I think I got kind of that. And it turns out we all end up on the same horse. So the first of the 3 Jorge Navarros that I like the best is the one that Joe and Ray have already talked to you about. He's speed of speed. Ray already talked about it. Speed does kill at Saratoga. I mean, I'm the California guy, and you guys know that that's what's going to be it for me. But back here, you get 32% of these races go wire to wire, and you're getting a little bit over 60% by the early heat type. So I will go with Delta Bluesman as my top pick. I actually stuck in the longer of the two, or the second choice, Catalina Red. Again, just picking Jorge Navarro, Catalina Red, Jorge Navarro, and Luis Saez. He actually got us back at Churchill Downs on Derby Day, if I'm not mistaken. And then the third one, and Joe kind of covered why I liked Chublicious as well. So if I was going to go three deep, if I could go three deep here, I would not. I would just go with the 3 and the 2. But if I was going to go three deep, I would actually cover all 3 of them because I don't know what Jorge is doing here. I'm going to. This is what shows you what's so good about our show, and getting us to handicap tracks that I'm not comfortable with, is that I didn't even know who Jorge Navarro was when we first started doing this one. Or I did know who he was, but wasn't familiar with him. And 4 months later, I was falling in love.
Now we know.
Oh yeah.
I've got Ray down with the 3, the 5, and the 7 in that race. I've got Joe down with the 3, the 1, and the 6, and I've got Rich down with the 3, the 2, and the 6.
Mm-hmm.
And on we go to race number 10, which, if I'm not mistaken, is our other co-feature on the day. It is 1.1 miles on the main track. It is the Jim Dandy Stakes, grade 2 for 3-year-olds only. Purse is $600,000. 6 starters, and your morning line favorite at 9 to 5 is in post number 3. It's Mohaman. And we've heard this name tonight a couple of times. Trained by Todd Pletcher. He's ridden by Junior Alvarado. All right, Joe. Ray got one feature. This one's yours. Who's coming to our rescue in the Jim Dandy?
Well, actually, I love this race. It's a very interesting handicapping puzzle. And if there wasn't another there's another 3-year-old race tomorrow, I think, somewhere, I don't know, some place in New Jersey, I think that they're running some pretty big race. But, this race is still very interesting to me. I went with the same horse I went with on Belmont Day, excuse me. And that's the number 4, Destin, of course, Todd Pletcher and Javier Castellano. And I was surprised that he wasn't the morning line favorite based on the way he ran at Belmont, and especially the fact that Pletcher is the trainer. I mean, he was just amazing that day, and he ran too good to lose. This race, he should get basically the same trip that he got that day. There should be one speed horse, Lauban, and he should be able to sit right outside. And if Mohaman decides he wants to make sure he's off the rail, Destin can sit outside Mohaman, and that's not a big problem, I don't think. He'll be closer to the pace. It should help him at Saratoga. And again, it's the Pletcher factor. You can't ignore what he's done. But I think this horse, he's a little bit fresher. He's had a little bit of time in between. Obviously, the ones that have run in the Belmont, and you're going to hear those names coming up shortly. They've had a few weeks off, but I think Destin just ran too good to lose, and he's in dynamite form. He's working well at Saratoga, so he'd be my top choice. I'm actually going to go underneath with the 5, Governor Malibu, for Christophe Clement and Joel Rosario at 9 to 2. He was in very close contention until he got absolutely stopped in turning into the stretch in the Belmont. Rosario decided to try to go inside. That hole closed. When he decided to try and go outside, the winner, Creator, was in the spot that he wanted to be. So it was really not the greatest ride for Rosario. It just turned out to be a bad day. He should get a cleaner trip, being that he's going to be outside of Creator in this field. I think he'll probably sit, I don't want to say mid-pack, probably 4th or 5th, but he'll be able to loop the field, I think. And again, he's going to be a little fresher this year. He did not go to the Triple Crown. The only race he ran in was the Belmont. And he's also getting weight from the 2 favorites. He's getting 6 pounds from Creator having won a Triple Crown race, and 4 pounds from Destin. And that may be a factor down the lane. So I'm going to go with Governor Malibu as my underneath choice. And I can't not mention Creator. He knows me that day. Steve Asmussen and Rad Ortiz, Ortiz had a great ride that day, but he needed every bit of that 12 furlongs to get by Destin. He's been working well. I just not if he's going to be sitting sixth at the quarter pole or at the 3 furlong pole. I'm not sure Saratoga is the place you want to be. I'm not saying he can't make up the ground because I believe Taylor Verve did a couple of weeks ago, but I would rather be closer to the pace at Saratoga. So I'm going to say that Governor Malibu is going to get the better trip than Creator this day, and I think he's got the best chance to run down Destin in the lane. So I'm going to go 4-5 with my A picks, Destin and Governor Malibu. Creator would be a very close B underneath those two. So again, 4, 5, and 1 for me. Ray, what do you see?
Well, this is where it begins. The second half, the 3-year campaign for these horses. This is usually a preparation for the Travers, although some will use the $1 Million Haskell also, which is on Sunday. You got a few good ones there too. Nyquist, I think, exaggerator.
Something like that.
Here we got Belmont winner Creator. We got the runner-up Destin. We got the early 3-year-old division leader Mohamed, and the hard-knocking Governor Malibu. So this would be a good race. I'm with you, Joe. I like number 4 Destin, 2-1. Yes, he ran his eyeballs out in Belmont to lose by nostril. Good thing I had Creator, Destin, and everybody in the triple, so I didn't really care. But but it is a great race. I think the distance and track profile hits him here really good. He can be on and close to a pace. Cash line on Pletcher, and has had a nice layoff since the Belmont. So this is where they begin again. Mohammed's been laid off since the Derby. He got similar tracking in the Tampa. He tries to get back to his winning ways. He was 5 for 5. McLaughlin's on fire, like I think we heard. I have him 6 for 8. That's 75% for you guys. I think as of Thursday. So that's blazing. I think the rest has done him well. Just the Derby. And Alvarado has him in all lifetime starts, so he knows him pretty well. So he might come out running here. I'm not a big fan of Creator in this spot. He has the class, he can win, but deep closes normally don't do well here unless it's a suicidal pace. But I mean, his class alone could win him the race, but I'm gonna stay away from him. I do like Governor Malibu, number 5. You're right, Joe. He was just, I mean, in out in Belmont. He could have gotten a better trip. He might have been up there closer. Maybe even won the race. Never know. So that's why I like the 4 Destin, the Bohemian 5, and National 3, and 5 is Governor Malibu. All right, Rich, Jim Dandy. This is where we go towards the Travers.
Yeah, those are my favorite songs when I was a teenager too. All right, you know what? Harmony is just not making for like a real entertaining show here tonight, but unfortunately, I was on the same horse. You've already heard it called a couple of times. Joe did. I'll back him up on this one, and Ray can too. Joe did call Destin for the win in the Belmont. Of course, Ray called Creator for the win in the Belmont, so you work that one out however you want. Things like that. Destin really deserved it, but Ray's the one who cast the tickets that day. So, Destin was the best horse in that race. I thought shortening up a little bit, and again, that name, Todd Fletcher, Javier Castellano, they hit 24% together. I thought everything lined up perfectly for Destin. I did not see Creator as a big threat for him, and the only horse that I saw that could possibly upset him or that possibly knock him off, not upset him, I guess, since it's the favorite, would be Kieran McLaughlin and Mohamed in post number 3. Ray and Joe already mentioned it. He's just like firing hot right now to start Saratoga out. And Mohamed was the best horse in the division earlier this year before he ran into a horse named Nyquist. So if McLaughlin's that hot and he's got him back to where he was, I guess he could present the problem for Destin. But right now, I would stick with Destin. So I just went 4-3. I did not use Governor of Malibu. I didn't have anybody down as my third horse. There's only 6 horses in this race, so it's a small field. I've got Joe down with the 4, the 5, and the 1. I've got Ray down with the 4, the 3, and the 5, and I've got myself down here with the 4 and the 3. And I'll put myself back on as I get ready to switch over here to the finale. And before I get ready to switch into the finale, I want to send a congratulations out there to somebody who I follow on Twitter, and her name is Candace Hare. And I saw a tweet from her just yesterday that came out that said that she is joining with a television network that's called, I believe it's called TVG, and she's going to be joining doing a racing analysis. So congratulations, Candace, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on TVG.
Very nice.
All right. Into the finale. Race number 11 Maiden claiming 40,000. They're going a mile and a 16th on the inner turf. First is $45,000. So, Saratoga, maiden claiming 45,000. For maidens, fillies and mares, 3-year-old and upward. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite, again, is in post number 1. Smile Big from the Chad Brown barn and ridden by Irad Ortiz is listed at 3-1 on the morning line. Ray and Joe, maiden claiming 40,000. I mean, in the inner turf, not so much. If it was dirt, you guys know somebody who loves these races. But Torado, you are up. Who do you like in the finale at Saratoga?
Man, I go get myself $1. I could get myself $2 and get me a pretzel for this race. I tell you, this is the end of the day. Oh man, right, Joe?
No. I'm going to reserve comment. I actually like somebody in this race quite a bit.
All right. I'm going to go with number 4, Newcomb. Looking for long shots here. 8-1. Drop into a claimer for Thomas Proctor from the West Coast. Shown speed in some sprints. Comes here off a layoff for Florian Giroux, who I like on the turf. He's got a good percentage over there. Number 2, Antebellum, 9-2. Remains in the same 40,000 level. Got a positive switch to Jose Ortiz. And there is Karen McLaughlin, 75% winning. Well, that's doing blazing, outstanding training job there. Looking for the title. Number 9, Mose Ginny, 12-1. Ran a decent 4th at the distance at Belmont. Last race had a slow half, and they came on fast. And she was kind of even in that fast finish, so did she get some little run there? Uncle Mo, Manny Franco's aboard. Number 7, Glory to Kitten, 5-1 with the Ramseys, homebred. They drop into a claimer for Mike Maker. Did gain ground late at a mile at Churchill Downs first start. Definitely eligible to improve. Second time out. And Julian Leperoux riding for Michael Maker. They're good percentage, 18%. There you go. Yep. They've been training here for a few weeks, so that's what I got there. 4-2-9-7. So Joe, maiden claiming, it's all yours. Somebody's gonna win here.
Yeah, and the horse that you just mentioned is the one that's going to win. Glory to Kitten.
All right.
5-1 morning line. He's the best bet of the day for me. He got off to a slow start in that race. I actually took the time to watch the race yesterday. He got off to a slow start, and he was bet that day. He was 5-2, so he was the morning line favorite in that race. They're putting blinkers on, figuring, okay, maybe he needs something to enhance his focus to get this horse into the right frame of mind. And he finished very well that day. Sneakily, he finished very well that day. And that's against straight maidens, and now he's dropping to maiden 40 in his second. Remember, that was also her career debut. So she stopped dropping in to maiden claimers in their second start, and blinkers go on. And the trainer and jockey combo is 29% with a positive ROI over the last in 2015, 2016, and that's not a small sample. That's 178 races, and they already have 2 wins together at Saratoga at this meet. And I believe there should be enough pace to get this horse home. So I love Glory to Kitten in this spot. She would be an A and the only A in this race for me. But I do actually, there's another interesting horse on the outside. I actually like the also eligible City Section if somehow she gets in. 2 horses from that race that she just ran and have come back to win at the level. And if somehow Javier Castellano gets on, that'd be a positive jockey switch. Nothing against Antonio Grider, but Castellano is one of the kings at Saratoga. And Tom Bush is an underrated trainer. I don't like the outside draw, but being that she's 20-1, I'd be willing to take it. And I'll mention Newcomb as well. Newcomb ran in a very quickly paced race last time out at Pimlico. I think this pace will be a little bit more to his liking. I still think she's more a turf sprinter. I remember seeing her run down the hill here at Santa Anita not that long ago, earlier in her career. But again, I'm really all over Glory to Kitten in this spot. I'm not sure what everybody sees in the Chad Brown runner on the rail. So I'm all with the 7 Glory to Kitten 5-1 morning line. She'd be a single on my pick 4 ticket if I made one for myself, and she'd be the only one I'd include. Like I said, I figure the 13 will not be running in this spot, so I like Glory to Kitten. Rich, take it away.
Oh, God. I hate to do it again and just end up over here at the same person over and over again all night long, but I ended up on the same trainer one more time. So I had my top pick as the 10. I have double dose once again, hitting the Todd Fletcher button. I realize it now. Sometimes I handicap right on the form, and I don't actually write everything down, so you don't see it in perspective, and you don't realize that. Oh, so I could have just written down Fletcher, Navarro, and I would have been done. I could have finished really easy, and I got that. So I ended up on double dose. Dropped down to that maiden claiming 40,000 that last time. Again, betting more the connections, Fletcher, Velasquez, first blinkers at 21%, a little bit, off the layoff, third off the layoff, and thinking he's going to improve off that last turf on the stretch out. So I did have double dose. I will tell you this, that I argued with myself, and I've got it as the second choice in here. I do not recommend that we put this into our ticket and things like that. You guys heard this last week. I've got a little bit of a thing for the sire, which is Bellamy Road. Those of you who know, I'm a California player, so you know that Bellamy Road was an East Coast horse, so he obviously struck me as somebody special. I liked him. I like this horse for whatever reason. Back Road Bellamy with Michael Matz and Joel Rosario as the connection. First on turf is not a great number for Bellamy Road. He's only 8%, so that's not a big one. First on grass for Michael Matz is only 9%, so this is not a big angle for him. The dirt to turf is nice with 15%, and maybe with the dam, some of the breeding here, 5 winners from 8 starters and 2 turf winners. Matz does do 18% going maiden to maiden claiming, so he is trying that drop and chipping in from Delaware. So I had it as the 10 on top, and again, mainly playing the connections, and the 8 underneath as a crazy choice almost. Again, just playing the connections. I like Joe and Ray's pick a little bit here. The second was Glory to Kitten, and you see one of my Game of Thrones references for the Ramses. Joe and I met some players a few years ago who reminded me, and it has stuck in my mind. You want to beware the Ramses, especially on big days. That Sarah Ramsey is one of those women who really does enjoy getting her picture taken in the winter. So.
Oh, yeah.
Joe went with the 7 and the 12. Ray has the 4, the 2, the 9, and the 7. And Rich has the 10 and the 8. So, we finally got some variation in there at least. All right. We'll go ahead and stop sharing here for a second. And I will bring up our template.
Hey, Rich, can I mention something to the good people while you're getting organized?
Absolutely.
All right. If you follow Saratoga and you're on the internet, and I'm assuming that 99.99 everybody who's watching this on the internet is on the internet, obviously. There's a newspaper that's available up in Saratoga, and it's available online in a digital edition. It's called the Saratoga Special. And if you want to go check it out, the website for that newspaper is called thisisHorseRacing.com, and there will be links that will connect you to the Saratoga Special newspaper, and they publish an edition every day during the Saratoga meet. It's got some pretty good and pretty interesting articles, recaps, stakes previews for the upcoming days. And I actually noticed something in the paper this year for the first time. They actually do an article called A Stable Tour, and they actually talk to a specific trainer about horses in their barn. And I actually had a chance to print them out today for some of the earlier editions this year. And some of the trainers are people you might have heard of. Mark Cassie, some guy, is that guy familiar to somebody? Let's see, Ralph Moquette, trainer of some breaking news, if I remember right. Some guy named Pletcher, who's pretty good, if I remember right. Dallas Stewart.
Seem to recall that name tonight.
Yeah, Dallas Stewart. And like I said, they've had one talk, and they basically talked about horses in their barn. It's usually on around page 8 in the Saratoga special. So if you get a chance and you have some free time, go to the website again. It's thishorseracing.com and find the links to the Saratoga special and take a look at it. I've read it. It's entertaining to me, and if you follow Saratoga, it would probably be entertaining to you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's great information, Joe.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
I just know it's like I said, it's pretty comprehensive, but if you have time, it's well worth the read.
All right, let me bring back up our. There it is. Okay.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
It's us again. I missed that last week.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Big football time.
All right, so back to race number 8, the opener there. And in the race, I got Joe has got the 3 on top. Ray has got the 6 on top. Rich has got the 6 on top. I've actually got the 3 underneath. And I know, Joe, you've got the 6. I see the 1 on there for Joe. I also see the 1 on there for Ray. Let's see.
Ray went the Keno card in that race. So
yeah, Ray had the field.
We got a lot of numbers there.
Ray went Powerball on us.
With 1, 3, 6.
You just started. One of those numbers I don't have will win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, exactly.
Oh, great. So then in my own personal pick 4, I should just play everybody that you didn't.
Oh man.
I'm not sure I like that.
You beat yourself up after that race. Yeah.
All right, in race number 9, we all had the 3 on top, so the 3 is definitely in there. Mm-hmm. And then underneath, I've got Joe with the 1, I've got Ray with the 5, and Rich with the 2. I see the 6 is down there for you, Joe, and I see the 6 is down there for me underneath the 3.
Well, he was more a B pick for me. I went with the 2 favorites. Unfortunately, I went chalk eating weasel in the Amsterdam. Unfortunately.
Okay.
But like I said, the 3 was our top choice. I know he's, and I guess we could discuss whether we want to single that horse and go with deeper coverage in the other legs.
Yeah.
We'll see here.
Possibly.
We've also got, okay, well, I'm going to move on to race number 10 then. We'll take a look there. Race 10, we've also got the 4 on top for all 3 of us. There's an amazing amount of harmony here for the 3 broke guys. For having been gone for 2 weeks, you can do by y'all being sung in the room. Thank you. So we all have the 4 on top. I see the 3 underneath for Ray and I. I've got a little expensive there, the 3 and the 4. And then, Joe, I see you've got the 5.
Yeah, I had the 5 of Governor Malibu underneath. Yep.
We want Governor Malibu on here, or do we want to go to 3 and 4?
Well, leave it like that for now, then. We'll see.
And the finale, which was where we had just a mixture. I definitely heard the 7.
Yeah, 7.
The 7, and I see, and Ray's got the 4. So I see the 4 and the 7, and I don't know if we need my top pick. I've got the 10 on there.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely know my second pick we don't have to use. Let's see. I see, Joe, you've got the alternate entry in there.
Yeah. Well, like it's Rich. I was going basically with the 7 on top.
The 7 on top. Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't. She was my only A pick. I was going with her by herself.
Okay. Do we want to just go 4-7, or do we want to add somebody else?
Oh, I mean, we could do that. We could put 4, 7, and 10 since he's your top pick. We can do all 3. But again, let's.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can circle back to that if we want to. I mean, we don't necessarily have to use the 10. You know, I didn't have a strong opinion on it. You heard there, that was more of a connection play for me.
Mm-hmm.
I had a connection play in the maiden claiming 40,000 for the audience. So I can be honest with you, I did not get committed to a mental institution despite all the rumors. Okay, I'm still at work. I'm actually in an office still at work, and I handicapped the maiden claiming 40,000 while I was sitting out doing some reporting. So you can slap my hands, despite the fact that those are my favorite races. I stuck to the first 3 I got through first, and I wanted to get through the state races. So I didn't do a whole lot of homework, and I bet connections and breeding.
Hiss, boo, hiss.
Hiss, boo, hiss, boo. So I'm willing to sacrifice my pick for that reason, and in the sake of honesty. So back up to race number 9, which was right now we've got a single with who was that? That
Race 9 was Delta
that's Delta
Bluesman.
Bluesman.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you want to add Anchor Down to that as well, then possibly?
Again, I was the only one really who kind of locked Anchor down. I didn't really hear a lot of what's the word, support
Consensus.
for him. So
Yeah,
again,
consensus.
I have no problem leaving him off.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as long as I got one of the Jorge Navarros in there, I was okay because that was the only thing
Well,
that's the only thing I wrote on the top of my page here. Just bet Jorge Navarro.
yeah. I mean, like I said, we could. I don't have a problem singling the 3 there and going deeper in
And maybe
we're
seven.
using race Keno numbers in race 8.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, Ray, what did you have? Who did you have as A picks in race 8? The ones that you must have on your ticket, or
Apex. Let's see. 6. Um. Let's see.
That's at the 5 and 9 on your next line, I think.
I would say the 6. The I would be the 7, the 9. Um. Those probably I would say
okay,
6,
because then
9, 7. Maybe the 3. We had the 3 already.
yeah, I have the 3. Um,
I mean, we could just try and beat the 5
so
if you want.
yeah, so we go 3, 6, 7, 9, possibly
Yeah.
there.
3, 6,
Rich,
7, 9.
were you,
1, 2, 6, 7, 9.
who were you on, Rich?
5 deep.
Mine are in there. I've got the 3 and the 6.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
'cause
so you were
we
in the
weren't
6.
on the 5,
Okay,
so
so I mean,
take a chance.
I'd like to put the 1 in there, like you were saying, Rich. And because Rich, because
Yeah,
I
that's the
didn't
one.
see
So, yeah.
the prime power in there. I didn't
Mhm.
realize he was number 1 in prime power, and he's
Yep.
10-1. Like I said, he was an A pick for me anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could then why don't we
Absolutely.
let's just let's just go 5 deep, 1, 3, 6, 7, 9.
Okay.
Yeah. hmm that sounds good.
Okay.
I'm not on the fence with 9. Only 2 races, 2 years, but yeah, it's just but the
You
Ramses
know,
again.
we've seen strange things happen,
We
dude.
got the Ramses.
Long layoffs are not the death knell that they used to be.
Yeah.
So
They are not.
do we single in race 9 then? We're gonna single a
Uh,
Delta Bluesman.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we can. Okay, let's
My only pick
see.
was a Holy Boss, but
Yeah, my other one was anchored down, but like I said, I didn't hear a lot of sentiment in
no.
his favor, so I have no problem. We can just single Delta Bluesman.
I mean, if you wait till
kind of heard. I mean,
oh,
I kind of lean towards what you were saying about Anchor Down. So my thought here was he was a little bit better as a longer distance sprinter. And I don't want to talk about him too much
yeah,
because
I
I
think
those.
it's still on his own. Sure about
Yeah,
him.
Right,
that was the risk I didn't bet Todd
right,
Pletcher.
I
right.
might have been Holy Boss, not
No, I'm off the Holy Boss bandwagon. No.
I was waiting for you, man. Come on.
If I had a choice between Holy Boss and
I'm
Anchor
off.
Down, I would go
I'm
Holy
off.
Boss.
Well,
Yeah.
if I had a choice between Anchor Down and Holy Boss, I'd go
But
Anchor Down.
I'm
But
a big fan in
I
this race of signaling Delta Bluesman.
yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So right now we're looking at a $15 pick 4. Right?
So what? Okay, so race
I
10
think
is
race 10 we could play
race 10 is which one?
Race 11.
Or I'm sorry, race. I'm sorry, I'm off on that. Race 8,
Yeah.
race 9.
So how deep are we in race 10? We went Destin for sure.
Yeah, you know, we all 3 had Destin.
Right.
I think the 3
for whatever
is Mohamed. So we both had Mohamed, and I think Joe, did you have the 5?
Yeah, I had Governor Malibu. Okay, so I see the 15. I see the $15 ticket. 5 by 1 by 3 by 2.
Right.
Okay. Now, if for whatever reason we want to put Pletcher in that last race, Rich's connections play, that would be 2250. It would go up by 750. 5 by 1 by 3 by 3. Rich, would you rather? I know you said you didn't handicap it that much. And
No, I can
I
live with
mean,
that.
I
I
like to
mean,
include either the 2 or the 9, or one of those two. How do you feel about those?
okay. Well, I went single
the
with the
17.
Ramsey horse, so
Ramsey.
I don't have an opinion
Hmm.
other than I just like the Ramsey horse a lot. I mean, we can just stay with it the way it is as a $15 ticket. That would not be an issue for me. I have no problem with it.
With that,
Let me take a look while you're talking about the two, Ray.
Yeah,
yeah, he's on Antebellum.
9 to 2
Go
Ortiz.
ahead, discuss amongst yourself while
10
I.
11.
Well, I mean, the good thing is he's tested at the distance on turf. So he's got the distance already versus the 10, which was double dose. Obviously, we've talked about Todd Pletcher enough all night, and I think the only other trainer that we've talked about just about as much is Kieran McLaughlin. So they're both real strong trainers. Um,
Okay, I mean, I'm looking here. Like I said, I kind of think, I don't know, stretching out and a quick turnaround too. Only 17 days between that last race and this one. Good draw down inside, so that's not an issue. Hot trainer. Ortiz did win a race at least today. I know that I'm aware of. I think McLaughlin also had a win today, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
well, you're right. A little bit of a quick turnaround, right?
Yeah, yeah, only 17 days. No, I mean,
Yeah, I didn't know. So, but I mean,
again, it's not necessarily a negative.
no,
It's just
not for
that
him.
he I don't know that he really does. He's one. It's funny because with McLaughlin, I think he's more along the Drysdale, the Neil Drysdale thing, more like he's going to be more conservative as opposed to as opposed to not running him. He's gonna run them when they're ready, and if they're knocking on the stall. So I don't have a problem adding her
Okay.
if we want to go
Yeah.
that way. Again, if we add one more, it just bumps it from 15 to 22.50.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And he is a hot trainer, so you can't really.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Okay,
outside post,
so
I'm looking at the outside post here at Saratoga. It looks like outside posts are having a tough time on the turf.
yeah,
So
that's
5%.
yeah, that's depending on the course and where of course where the turf court where the gate is positioned. It can be kind of tricky for outside posts, and because you're going to end up wide, pretty much all the way around.
Now, on my little note here, I'm writing down you are betting double dose to win tomorrow.
Well,
All right.
maybe we should bet a sandwich or something, Rich, because I'll take we'll go horse for horse. I'll take the Ramsey's horse, and I'll bet against you
Okay.
with
Okay.
we'll bet like
When you see
a sandwich at Firehouse Subs or something
when
like
you
that.
when you see
Yeah.
that red hat with the R circle coming down the stretch, that's
No,
slapping
at the very least, the first ball, the first round of the fireball. There we go.
Yeah, there you go, Rich. That sounds perfect. The
First
first
round of
fireball
Okay.
shot tomorrow is that's
Start
we'll
going
go
like
horse
this.
for
So,
horse.
come on,
My,
come on, come
well, my guess is they'll end up dead heating, and we'll be screwed. But anyway,
Alright.
as long as they
So
dead
there's
heat
our
to
four.
win, I'm okay.
All right, so there's our final pick four ticket there. We're going to go 1, 3, 6, 7, 9, over 3, over 3, 4, 5, over 2, 4, 7.
Yes, just so
and
that
a
everybody
trip to
knows,
the cashier.
yes, it's true. It is true. We are actually tossing not one but two Chad Brown morning line favorites on the grass at Saratoga
Yep.
in this pick four. Not one but two.
Favorites.
So obviously we'll find out who's smarter. I'm betting on Chad Brown at the moment, but hey, if we're wrong and this pick four hits, we'll get paid handsomely. It'll do very nice for our bottom line.
Yep.
All right, Joe, have you got that down before I come back here?
Yes, I do. I have it all.
All right.
And I unfortunately I have not. I've been looking. Obviously Rich and I are for those of you who are not aware. Rich and I are going to meet tomorrow at Del Mar to meet our friendly neighborhood Queen Bee holder tomorrow. Um, Running at the Clement Hirsch at Del Mar tomorrow afternoon. So I have not had a chance to look at the Haskell. One other horse you forgot to mention, Ray, and I don't think you should forget him at the window is Gunrunner. He is also
Oh yeah,
running in that race tomorrow.
that is the entry
Yeah,
spot.
it's the three of them. It's Nyquist,
Oh.
it's Gunrunner, it's the top three from the Derby.
Oof.
Mm.
They are all running, and the fourth place horse is running in the Jim Dandy, Mohamed. So, and the sixth place horse, Destin. So, like you said earlier, it's the start of the march towards the hopefully Breeders' Cup Classic for maybe one, two, or maybe multiple 3-year-olds this year. Not sure they have much of a chance. Seeing what we saw last week, not sure they have much of a chance, but we'll have to see.
I'd like to see Sonberg in the Travers. I really would like to see. Okay.
Absolutely.
Not gonna. If they wouldn't run her in the Derby, I don't see why running her in the Travers.
Sure, yeah.
And again, I'm done tilting at that windmill because that's in the past. I was hoping Songbird would run in the Derby. I was hoping I could get that bet in Vegas, but
Yeah.
that was what I was hoping for.
But
Okay.
maybe down the road. But
Yeah.
she's good. She got tested, but she just took off like a space rocket.
Well,
I'm like, whoa.
she got tested like never before. I'll
Yeah.
just say that.
He responded
She did.
very well. She did.
Okay. For those of you watching, if you enjoyed the show, we will be back next week, and we're going to get together and we'll take a look at another exciting card. Don't have that one up there just yet for you. All right, gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It is always a pleasure to handicap with the two of you.
Yes, indeed.
Same here.
Oh.
We missed it last week, and hopefully that will not happen again.
Absolutely. For Joe English and Ray Torado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching Three Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.
Good night.